Hola, Humans Trail, the Comic God here, and I am giving an update on my book. Um, so I wrote most of chapter one, but I'm I'm sick right now, and I've been sick for a few days, so that really slowed down my writing production. I have 7 pages out of the 10, and then I gave myself notes on how to finish the rest. Um, I've been like, it's the brain foggy type of sick, right? So I've just honestly spent a lot of time looking at the page, like, huh? Which is not something you foresee when you're like, hey, I'm gonna write my first book, and then immediately get sick. Hey, it's something that happens. I'm human, apparently. So it's part of the process. But I did write, and I did write a bunch of notes on like lore and stuff, like fun stuff that I didn't have to think too much about. So I was happy to do that. I'm always happy to do that. Between you and me, I'm also writing a comic right now, um, and I got to do a bunch of lore on that, and it's like classic fantasy with like fantasy races and stuff. But I got to flesh out a bunch of the lore and write that. So that's easier than writing the full novel. I find lore and stuff just kind of pops into my head. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. Why not try it, right? But writing actual structure and dialogue and stuff is a little rough, right? So with my sick brain, I am going slower than I'd like, but I had to have 7 pages. I intend for a chapter to be around 10, and then probably break those 10 up into just bite-sized reading points because sometimes that's helpful when it's just like a book you got to vibe with. So I'm not thinking too much about that now, but I'm just trying to get it done. I don't know if I have 3 pages left to go. Honestly, with how I ended it, I might have one left to go because the amount of notes I did was going back to write. I have the scene where they're all being attacked, and in the first draft, there wasn't so many people, so it didn't seem so dramatic. So I boosted the people, but then when I wrote it, because I think I forgot that, I didn't have as many people there. So just small continuity things like that I need to keep up with. And while I'm sick and not really thinking about it, I can see how that'd be rough. Hey, I can see how George R. R. Martin's taken 20 years to write this Wins a Winner book. If I can't keep my first chapter intact, imagine book six of a was it six? Yeah, I think six of a huge epic. Um, but yeah, no, I'm having a good time with this. I love writing. I'm still here to do it, so hopefully I kick this cold soon, and then I can finish the chapter and write a whole nother chapter by the time I get an update. Like by the next time I get an update to you guys. So that's what is happening so far. I hope you stay on this update train, but sick. Didn't write as much as I want to, but plan to write so much more next week because the sick is gonna be gone soon. I'm willing it. This sick, this cold, you know what I mean. Yeah, that's it. Again, if you want to hear any specifics about my writing process, if you want to show me some, if you want me to show you some of the writing process, or maybe how I come up with ideas, or maybe part of my outline, let me know. I am still trying to figure out what to show you guys, what's going to be interesting and what's not. And I'm starting with these weekly videos, so we'll see, and hopefully, eventually, you guys tell me so I can make the best content for you. And I hope next week I'm a little more lively. So, 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 I'm sick. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Anyways, I had fun. Also, should I release these chapters as I'm giving you guys updates? It'll be different than the final book. I don't know. Again, it's me thinking out loud. I don't really know how to do this. um like release book content. I know there are people that do, cuz I watch them, but I don't know. I'm trying to do it my own and get you guys the maximum Trey vibe. So, we'll see, and I'll build content tailored to my community, which is what should be done. So, yeah. And maybe next time, if I do feel better, I'll get you a few sketches on what I think the main character is like, or the magic, because there's magic in this universe, and how it works. Ooh, maybe I do a lore video. Maybe I'll do a lore video. We'll see. Hey, if you want that, comment below if you want some lore and how this works. And someone mentioned doing maps would be cool, and I didn't even think about doing maps. I'm an illustrator. I was thinking about drawing the scenes that I write, but I didn't think about doing the map. And fantasy map is classic. I have fantasy map here for a different project. I just have that on deck because I like it. It's a project that I stopped doing because reasons that I'm not going to get into. I made a whole fantasy map, and this is like a continent level, so I might just do a smaller country level map, or like a kingdom, a kingdom map. Is a kingdom a whole? I don't know. Anyway, is it a whole country? It doesn't have to be. I know Westeros is a continent, but it's made up of 7 kingdoms. So I'll figure that out. How big my kingdom is in this story. It takes place, there's a few different kingdoms in this story, but there's one main one where we stay. But I like doing that for potential growth of the story, because who knows where I'm going to take it, right? I like outlining story by story, because if I start here, but I want to go over here, it's a possibility. So yeah. Anyways, that was me thinking out loud. I hope you enjoyed the second update. I almost got a chapter done. And next week, I hope I have way more. So, I'll see y'all later. I hope you guys have a beautiful week. See you next time. Peace out. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know what it is. Bye.